Episode 30, Drink with James. We have esteemed guest, blogger, model / Parisian, Christina,
yes.
who for years was in my phone as Christina Carbonara.
That's
a confession of mine, but it's Cardona.
It's Caradona.
Yeah,
Caradona.
It's in my phone as Carbonara.
I'll take it. As long as I'm in your phone.
Yeah, I mean, you seem like a pasta lover.
I actually love pasta.
Well, I know.
Yeah. I love all foods though, so it's good.
You love
it's
all
like
the
my
foods.
thing. I love everything.
Yes.
It's my cross to bear.
So, very excited to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I've been like bothering you about this.
It's true.
And now I get to finally do
it.
it.
Now you're doing it. So, talk to me first about Gucci. You were having a Gucci moment, aren't you?
I really love Gucci, and I didn't realize that I could afford it until I started looking at the prices. Oh my God, that sounded so pompous. But I was like, oh, it should be like my treat to me when I want to treat myself.
Right.
I can't really afford, I take that back. It's very expensive.
Hence the t-shirt.
But I wanted it really bad.
Right. Did
and
you get that from the Canal Street store?
I got this from the Jeffrey store.
They don't have a store in Canal Street.
Do they have a Canal? Oh, I get it. I was like, oh my God. I was like, do you want the name of the girl? She's great. Yeah, I'm not very keen on that. But my friend Anthony has one too, but his was $20.
Right.
And not as pretty as mine.
But you've been on that belt too. I feel like
I love,
that belt
I
right
actually
now,
always liked, but I got the one it's like a cherry one.
Yes.
It's different.
Yeah.
So it's better.
Obviously.
Yeah, duh. But no, I really always like Gucci, but their new collection is kind of like punk renaissance.
Yeah.
And even though I'm not very punk, I just really love it because it's really loud.
It's like super opulent.
It's super like,
Baroque,
this is Gucci.
Yes. Which is, I mean, I have one more shopping question for you, and then we'll move on to the meat of the conversation. But my grandfather would never let me do this, but like, you buy something in a store, are you trying to wear it out of the store, or are you gonna like give it a week?
No, I don't really do that because I'll do it when I get home. As soon as I get home, I'll like put all my stuff on. You know how like old women like the stories of like old people old ladies in Paris, and they wear all their jewels. Yeah. That's how I feel when I come home after I go shopping. I like put all of my new clothes on.
I don't know that story. I just said yeah, but I don't know. Is this something old women in Paris do?
No, but it's just like they have when you basically in Titanic when what is it, Jack is showing Rose his drawings, and he has this one drawing of this woman has so many jewels, and you call her Madame Bijou.
Yeah.
I'm like, have you not seen Titanic?
Right.
It's like a very prominent part. I watch it all the time. I am in love with Leonardo DiCaprio from like 92.
Yeah,
like that's like my jam.
It's
but I know. He's still so good.
He is.
I'd still
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway.
We were just kind of saying how, look, we were sitting here, we've just been bullshitting for 5 minutes about God knows what. Like, you are a personable, funny, loud person. And I think Tim and I were thinking about what to talk about. I was like, well, we could talk about how you started as a model. What was that like? What's it like to be different? Like, to start as a model and go to an influencer and all these other things. But I think what I want to talk about today is just, you are so unabashedly you, and so much bigger of a personality than I think is normal in this community, at least publicly. And like, was it a conscious decision? Have you ever struggled with like, am I sharing too much, or are you just like, this is my feed, fuck it, I do what I want?
No, I mean definitely there's like times I don't feel like I share as much as I used to. I think I tamed it down a little bit. I really do.
Toned down. Okay.
I feel like it's totally tame. I feel like on my Tumblr I share a lot of stuff or stories and funny things like that. But I always just try to, on my Instagram or my feed, even on my stories, just kind of be me. A lot of people, they always love to like, I'm not someone who likes to brag ever. So I feel like since I don't like to brag in my personal life, I would never do it on my Instagram.
Right.
And that's why, like, whenever if people look at my story or something, people always ask me like, oh, do you just like go out and have fun? And it's like, yeah, I do those things just like you do, but I'm just not always saying when I'm working.
Right.
just because I don't feel like it. I just don't sit there and be like, I'm here with, it's just not what I would do. It's not who I am. It makes me feel weird. And even if you see what I do on my thing, I never actually talk very much because I just don't like listening to the sound of my voice. I just think I sound disgusting. So I'd rather just take photos or like pan on me and then go to my friends or just film my friends or I don't know. But I think, I don't know, I tamed it down a little bit on my thing.
You don't like to brag. I see that. You also you obviously live a life that is no longer.
I'm gonna break the table. I know. I was like, whoa, not the
life
booze.
That is not super normal, right? And it's hard to talk about your life without bragging sometimes, or you. I think you balance it maybe with a bit of you kind of have that
You have to be funny about it.
Yeah.
You have to be. I mean, because it's hilarious.
I'm on a yacht.
Again. Oh man, I'm eating at the Versace house again.
Right. But are you, is that a conscious thing of okay, I get that this is ridiculous. I'm gonna try and poke fun at myself.
Yeah, I think that once you forget that this is not real, this is not normal, once you forget that it's not normal, then you're too far gone. Right. Then it's there's something wrong with you. Because you have to know, because the thing is everyone, I mean, I don't know about everybody else, but I can talk for myself. I didn't grow up like this, going on boats or eating at Cipriani or freaking going to the plaza for drinks, and that just doesn't make sense. It's just not real life. And so and it just makes me laugh when I meet girls that are that do the same thing as me, and they act as if this is just the norm, or they don't understand why they should be getting more. And I'm always what were you doing 2 years ago? Working out freaking why are you acting like this? Right. So I think you need to remember this is you're lucky.
Right.
Not blessed. You're lucky. It's not about being blessed or anything. Yeah. You worked hard, and this is the perk of it. But
I remember when I was shooting a little bit more, and I was struggling because I had a full-time job. My mom was like, "Look, you are experiencing something that is unique and probably has an end to it, and you should just throw yourself into it 100%, and be thankful and understand that probably won't last forever." So if somebody wants to send you on a trip, you should probably go on that trip.
You should probably go.
You should probably say yes.
You should probably go.
And for me, it did end, and it was partially self-inflicted. I stopped doing that to start Forecard. But everyone kind of has an expiration date. I heard something today. Someone's nobody invites their parents up to the treehouse, right? So whatever the kids build, that is in 5 years or 10 years, whatever.
Ooh, that's a good one.
You probably aren't going to be invited into it,
I invite my dad some places.
Your dad's
when he's not going to embarrass me and get rowdy and get kooky. That's a good one.
Right?
Never invite. I want to go to the treehouse.
Right. Well, you're in the treehouse.
I'm always curious what little kids are doing. It's the same thing. We're gonna be those weird. I'm in the treehouse. I set the password.
Right, you're in there.
I'm what's the code?
Right. I don't know if I'm
kicking kids off the thing.
I'm
you built the treehouse.
Maybe I built some of the treehouse.
Yeah, you built some of the treehouse, and you're like Adriana Lima on Victoria's Secret. You're the forever angel. You're never getting booted off. She's there to stay. You see that? You see her body? Not normal. That's not my body. As I drink more sugar.
Right.
I'm
Okay, so I think I was telling you earlier that I was at this conference and there was a brand person that was giving this group of young women who were interested in being influencers the advice to make sure she was I don't want to think about hiring you and then go to your Insta stories and see you out drinking with your friends. I disagreed with that statement. You, again, have been able to show your personality. Do you think you've ever lost a job because of the kind of how open you are about your life, what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a thin line not to cross. You don't want to be acting crazy, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or stealing cars. That's super illegal. But I mean, there's been a time with me where I had lost a client because, and also the client did look far back at my Instagram, but whatever, was on my page. And a photo of me going like this back in my hometown, and I was topless, and I had a suit pant. I had wearing suit pants, by the way, so that's crazy. And I had stars over my breast, so it was hiding. It's funny how this isn't bad, but this is bad.
Right. Yeah.
Don't show this part.
Right, no.
That's a no-no. So that was covered, and they dropped me, and then they also found a photo of me putting up my middle finger, saying, "I'm back, bitches," like saying I was back in New York. Granted, I understood that one. I was like, that was a lot. I don't know. I was like, maybe I shouldn't have wrote bitches. I don't know. But it's also like, that's what I would say.
On the flip side, how much work do you think you're getting because?
A lot. I mean, also, yeah, a lot of work. But it's just like, the thing that bothered me the most was that what is the difference between me doing that pose and my boobs out, and then the difference between girls on the internet, no offense to them because they're working it, that are, posing in like lingerie or just being like super sexual. Right. How am I guess maybe they wouldn't work with them either, but right. I'm like, I got it. I answered my own question. All right, good night. But how is that different,
Yeah. I mean,
because I feel like that brand's actually worked with someone who I was like, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Right. But I guess, I think the argument is that you're probably getting a lot of work because you're funny and you seem really fun and you have a personality, right?
I hope, yes.
But then, like, how do you, like, when I look at your feed, like, you do have such a tone, and some of it is like, not like you're too cool. It's like I know that you think
you're gonna
really
say I was
awesome.
cool, right?
No.
I was like,
I know that you're really stoked on your life and what you're doing and all of that. Sometimes you do the like, oh my god, this is like,
so
another day. But like you can tell you're like joking. But then like, do you have to change? Well, let me answer my own question. Like, obviously, you sometimes have to change that tone for sponsored posts.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, do you struggle with that? Do brands often allow you to use your tone?
Yes and no. A lot of the times, yes, because a lot of the brands that are working with me know me already. So what they'll ask is, can we get a draft post? And I'm always like, God damn it. Don't trust me. Just fucking trust me. And I'm always like, oh, I get it. But I hate and love draft posts. Love them because I don't have to think once I post it. Hate them because I don't like thinking like that.
Right.
I like to think on the spur of the moment, and that's how I do my whole life. I act on feel, but then I also feel emotions. But also, I mean, I don't just do things recklessly. But I like to, when I post something on Instagram, I like to post it how I feel that second and not like how I felt a week and a half ago.
Right. So
that's annoying, but
yeah,
I get it. They want to know. They're curious. They're scared. What you gonna say?
And I just going through the feed, most of the time it seems like at least the sponsored posts are in your tone. I mean, sometimes brands.
I mean, sometimes I'll be like, what do you want me to say? Just give me a brief, and they'll just like write what they want me to say. I'm like, okay, I get it. And I'll just be like, copy paste. Click. And I cry.
How much, like, again, if you go to your feed, as we were saying before, like, you ignore some of the traditional rules. Like, visually, you don't have a huge amount of consistency.
No.
Right? Like, some of it's iPhone, some of it's, professional shots. Some you're, like, obviously taking the piss and just, like, something's funny. You're standing on top of a car. So.
Which is always funny.
But, yeah, are you, like, I've talked to influencers that are like, yes, like, I map out my posts. I look to make sure it's visually the same. I'm checking, time of day, when the best time to post is. I'm like looking at all these trends.
These people that do, and this is my theory, this is what I think, and this is what I've been thinking about for a while. The people that are doing this are people that did these things in school. Right. This is just who they are.
Right.
Like when they did class or when they studied, they had probably cue cards. Right. And they probably like mapped everything out and they knew what school they were going to go to. And there's like friends of mine that don't do that and they have other ways of doing it. And I think it just comes down to like who they really are as a person. Like I'm someone that if I go on vacation, I have my one friend, Kimberly, from Eat Sleepwear, who I love. She's so funny because she'll plan out her outfits for the week. I don't even know how to do that. I don't even know how to plan. I know how to plan like activities I have to do or things I have to go to or parties I have to be at. Like I'm really good at knowing what parties, what bar to go to. Like I can plan out like where to break up with your boyfriend. Like all these places, like I got that down packed. But what to wear and like how to strategically place my photos, that's like another world for me.
Right.
That's so hard.
So you're not like really.
I'm not. I don't. And maybe I should because maybe that's the way to go because they've grown. You know, all these girls have grown so far. I mean, I have too, but like, I don't know. I never think about it because I feel that if you do limit yourself and you give yourself these rules, then you're giving yourself rules.
Yeah.
And I'm not like I'm saying like, oh, fuck the police or like no structure, but like I don't like rules. Right. So like, why would I give myself rules?
That's obvious. That is obvious.
I can't believe I just said fuck the police, like fucking Rage Against the Machine.
Right.
Like what is going on?
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, didn't Rage go like? Oh no, they did that song. Oh, I forgot. Oh, NW. Right? Okay. I have a shirt from them. It's very good. I stole it from my ex-boyfriend. I still have it. I'm never giving it to him back.
I have no idea what we're talking about.
Where did you break up with him?
You just said you knew good spots to break up with a boyfriend.
Oh yeah. I mean, you can go to if you used to go to bars like other hot guys. So once you do, then you can like be like bye and then like look around.
Where
you can go to Max Fish and do it.
New York City?
The hottest men in New York City, you tell me. I don't know where the hottest men are. I know where there are hot men in New York City.
Right,
you can go to, well, it depends if you want hot men, no money, hot men, like.
Just list some off.
You can go to Lower East Side, has pretty handsome dudes. You know, Max Fish has like skater guy. You live there. I mean, look at you, Allen and Rivington. Maybe. Yeah, all around there. And then East Village does too. Maybe. Maybe. Don't touch the manager. I'm like, I break my glass.
She probably will cut you. She's not super balanced. Again, as I said, like your feed seems, I think, is so endearing because it feels so of the moment and natural. Mm-hmm. Was there a time in your progression where you thought, hey, these other bloggers are growing really quickly, I should do what they do and try?
Yeah, no, definitely.
You're saying it goes against your nature, which I agree with, and that's actually a really good insight. Is that like there are some people who are built for that.
Yeah,
you know,
and they're great at it.
We've had like JC on the show who you've traveled with and friends with, but like she has a more analytical mind. She loves that stuff, right? But you know, that's not your nature. You're not going to do it. But was there a time where you like tried to like force yourself to do that? Well,
yeah. I mean, even though like I come across as someone who's like super, you know, confident and easygoing and so like on Instagram, I do like get really self-conscious, and I still get like really scared about like, oh, is my Instagram growing? At the same time I care, but at the same time I don't. But like I do think about like, you know, what can I do to make it grow bigger? And I think that one of the answers I had for me personally, I don't know if this will go for everybody else, was just to be like, I know this is the easiest thing to say, but I was just like, I'm just gonna keep being me. Because I don't really know how to be anybody else. Right. And I could try to be like super, I don't know, like super curated and try to make my boards, you know, really like eye-pleasing and all that kind of stuff. But then I was also thinking like, okay, so what is the average person looking at when they go on an Instagram page? Like they're not doing what I'm doing. Like I'm looking at feeds. Right. Is everyone else doing that? I don't think so. Probably like everyone you know, everyone else in America or in the world like probably isn't looking at feeds. They're probably looking at one photo as it goes. Or when they go on someone's page, they go like that and they click. They don't have that business mind like we would have, because we're trying to make it, you know, because that's our job. So that's why I'm just like, I was thinking like, oh, I'm gonna do this way, and then I was like, wait, no, I'm not, because it's just like, in the end, like I want to be me, and also I was thinking like, what would I want to look at if I was on the other end? Right. So that's how I always think about everything, like, because I want to stay relatable, because I think I am, and then because I want people to, you know, obviously like me. I'm not trying to. I don't care if they do, but in the same terms, I do. Because you know, people say like, I don't care. It just means like it's kind of douchey to say I don't care if someone likes me, because that means you're just selfish and you're an asshole.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I don't care if people, like me, but I want.
I want people to like me.
As long as people like me.
Exactly. That's what I'm
right?
saying. Yeah.
Like if some people hate me, fine.
That's fine. I would. Not everyone is gonna like us.
As long as a lot of people really like me.
Yeah. Sometimes my mom doesn't like me.
Right.
Like my mom's like, I don't like you right now. So it's like if I can get my mom to like me, like how am I gonna get this like Joe Schmo over here to like me? So it did kind of think. I think when people are like making Instagram, they think about it like that. Like you just have to like, and because in the end you're kind of competing. When people go like, oh, I want to be better than so-and-so, it's like you're actually competing with people's personalities. It's not about like you're better in math or like I'm smarter than you because I know when Louis XIV died. It's like, no, you're actually competing with like an actual person's
That's really interesting.
energy.
I mean, do you think for
May
like,
the best
style
energy
bloggers,
win.
right? For like
kidding.
style bloggers, like do you think that it is like a personality? I mean,
I
for
think
you,
it
it's
really
been,
is a
right?
personality. I totally think it is. And I always think when people are competing, it just makes me so, it makes me feel so weirded out because I'm like, you're competing, it's like high school, you're competing with the popular, you're competing with someone's energy. Like you can't do, it's not like about who's gonna win or not gonna win, but it's just not, there's not gonna be a winner and there's not gonna be someone who's gonna, I mean, obviously there will be someone who comes on top, you know, like there's a lot of big bloggers like Blonde Salad, obviously. She's like the alumni. Right. She's like the god of all bloggers. Yeah. She's the OJ.
Right. The OG, I said.
Oh, she's the OJ of bloggers.
OJ.
I love you, Kiara.
Kiara is not the OJ of bloggers.
Kiara like kills man repeller. Anyway, and they're like, I didn't do it. And you're like, okay, we believe you. She's the OJ. I want her to be the OJ now. Because that's everyone. Still, I mean, is OJ still famous?
He is.
He is.
I think he might be in jail though.
He's in jail.
Well, this has been a pleasure. We could probably just do this every 6 months or so.
Yeah.
If you'll come back.
I can come back?
You can come back.
I mean, I live very close.
You do.
I walk here. It takes me 12 minutes.
Yeah.
To walk
takes me
here.
11, but,
Oh yeah, you're a vlog. You're fitter.
Yeah.
You touched my stone.
I did touch your stone.
I started doing jumping jacks.
Look, thank you for coming, y'all. If you don't follow her, you're fucking lost. You're an idiot. You need to follow her. Thanks for coming. We'll keep drinking.
Oh yes, thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers, thank you.